Book number 3 of 52 in the 2021 Vitruvian reading list, The Road by Cormack, McCarthy. Huge Vitruvian, V for victory. This is a great novel. So what's it about? Well, it's a post-apocalyptic tale, which I know sounds awful, about a father and son who are left in America after it's been laid waste. There's nothing. I mean, there's literally nothing. It is gray. It is dreary. McCarthy's descriptions make you feel the cold and the dampness that has become America, the emptiness that is America, and he does a phenomenal job of not only making you feel as though this man and his son are the only two people left on earth, but also reminding you that they're probably not. And anyone that they come in contact with is probably going to be dangerous. And so that presents this whole suspense element to the book that lasts throughout the entire book. And what I like about Cormac McCarthy's writing is that he takes these mundane details. He'll describe very day-to-day actions that kind of almost rest you, and you just follow along. It's a really incredible style of writing that I enjoy. I like reading about just little things like I got up, I walked to the bathroom, I brushed my teeth, I took my shower. But by lulling you into that, then he'll kind of hit you with this major detail of some gruesome act or some reminder of just how awful and unsafe this father and son are. And then he also causes you as the reader to raise these questions in your mind of, would you go on? I mean, what is there to live for? The father has told the boy that they're headed south to the coast, but he doesn't even know whether the ocean is going to be there in its former state. And we never know what is actually there and why the father has determined that they need to head south to the coast. And so what you finally realize is that the only reason why they're staying alive at all is for each other. The father is not going to leave his son. And so therefore, he's going to survive as long as his son is alive. The son, he never knows any different. And I don't want to tell you too many details about how the conditions in which the son was born and that sort of thing, and when he came along in the trajectory of the earth or America's history and this whole apocalypse. But I'll just tell you this, that the boy doesn't know any different. And so all of his memories, all of his teachings, everything he knows came at the hands of his father. And so their relationship is really special. And it really brings some big time questions in your mind as to what would you do if you were in that situation, and you feel the heroism of this father without creating the typical hero. He is the everyday man that, due to his fatherhood and this horrible situation, becomes a hero. And for a novel, and again, I know it sounds weird to say, it's almost like to say that a post-apocalyptic novel is beautiful. It sounds kind of crazy, but it is. And this is one of the things that the father teaches the son that I thought was good for all of us to remember, especially as I'm promoting this whole idea with the Vitruvian project of improving always in all ways. And part of that is by doing push-ups for your brain, which is reading. And so then what you put in your brain, you should always be mindful of. The father, he tells the son, he pulled the boy closer. Just remember that the things you put into your head are there forever, he said. You might want to think about that. You forget some things, don't you? Yes. You forget what you want to remember, and you remember what you want to forget. Something to chew on. And that statement comes early on in the story. And you realize that just keeping the boy alive isn't the only challenge that this father has. But given what has happened and the things that this boy is going to see, the father also has to take on the challenge of protecting his young son's mind, because he encounters some pretty rough stuff, to say the least. But you watch the boy grow and be able to acclimate to the world in which they reside. So with that, book number 3 on the Vitruvian reading list. Great book. Sometimes you hear that the winners of the Pulitzer Prize, which The Road was, sometimes it's like they get knocked because it's like, well, yeah, the critics loved it, but actual real everyday readers couldn't stand it. Well, this is one that is phenomenal. Oh, and just so you know, if you've never read any of Cormac McCarthy's stuff, he was the writer of No Country for Old Men. And so if you like that movie, and if you like the fact that, like, for me, the first time I ever saw that movie, I remember just having this sense of tension and intensity from the very beginning of the movie all the way through the end. It was like I was kind of dragging my feet, being pulled through that entire film. And I loved that about it. And so that's what McCarthy does in this book. It's like he'll just kind of just pulls you along, and you're constantly wondering what is around every corner. And sometimes there's something there. Sometimes he lets you off. Sometimes he lets you just keep on reading. But you know that eventually he's not. Eventually, Anton Chigurh is going to be somewhere on the pages. And so anyway, if you like No Country for Old Men, if you like that style, that tension that you constantly have, and you in your mind, he writes in such a way that it's really easy for you, the reader, to put yourself in the story and feel it and go, wow, this would be tough. So with that, The Road, Cormac McCarthy, check it out. I think you'll like it. That's it. Thanks.